It's been a while since I uploaded a commentary video and uploading videos in general. I actually did record a live comm session before the 6.66 update, but I forgot to press the record button on my Elgato, and yep, all the footage I recorded didn't record. It was also my first multiplayer live comm session with SnapMap gameplay, but I will re-record the SnapMap stuff after this upcoming live comm session because I played a bunch of maps that had very little plays, and these maps were actually all pretty fun and entertaining too, so I want to support that and give promotion after this live comm session where I'm going to continue playing these maps that I haven't played yet. Keep an eye out for the upcoming live comm snap map sessions since I've been just busy trying to finish my map for Redemptor, and I've also been kind of taking a break from mapping too and Doom. I might end up taking a bit of a break for the Call of Duty 4 Remake Standalone Edition since I'm itching to play that game for sure. With that said, I am in the mood for doing some live comms, and I got quite a bit of maps to play too, so if you enjoy them, like I said, keep an eye out on my channel because I'm definitely going to try to deliver as much content as I can. So that's out of the way. Let's talk about the actual subject. How do I feel about update 6.66? Well, it's mixed to be honest. This is mostly a multiplayer update, and I have been playing a lot of multiplayer, which also affects my mapping progression, but I've been having fun with all the DLC content. I'm so glad id Software decided to make it free for everyone because I hate it when developers don't do that. When the game gets old and there's a split player base between people with DLC content and not. The shared DLC map idea, like if someone has the DLC maps in the lobby and someone who doesn't, they can actually play it, and I thought that was a smart and great idea. But I think it's much better to make all the DLCs for free as the game gets older so you're not missing content. I know there's complaints about people who bought the DLCs and they feel ripped off, but you had early access, so I think it's a fair business move. I've been having so much fun using the new demons. Like the Harvester is just awesome to play, and I love using the Keko demon too once I kind of knew how to play them properly. The new guns are kind of cool too. I think my favorite one is the grenade launcher because rocket launcher and grenade launcher combo is so much fun to play and a great class for objective based game types. But at the same time, I actually got some things I didn't like about this update. There were so many unnecessary changes. They changed completely how the power weapons or power-ups system work. Instead of having a demon rune spawn and then eventually a power weapon or power-up would spawn to counter all the valuable items, it would basically spawn randomly one valuable item at a time, and that's such a problem. In objective-based game types, I literally cannot stand if the other team gets lucky. And let's just say they get a demon room, and let's just say my teammate, he just wasted all of his BFG shots, so it's going to be very hard to counter the demon, and I just hate this. It screws over the players like me who actually spend time and try to learn to be good at playing multiplayer, and I also hate how the game tells you where the power-ups or weapons spawn. Map knowledge is always something that's important to making a good multiplayer-driven first-person shooter, and this just kills it so much. I definitely have a very hard time carrying my teammates now because I generally have to carry the entire team to win the matches, but now I'm losing matches even more because players are getting their hands hold so much more than ever since this update happened. I also missed the simplicity of the UI. I just think the Slayer rating thing is so pointless, and why the hell do I need to know how much damage the player taken or what guns or equipment he or she is using? Like I said, it's just so unnecessary. Same thing with the new hack module system. I personally think Doom is already accessible enough. There's not a heavy emphasis on map knowledge compared to Quake or Unreal Tournament. It doesn't have a movement system, it's not as fast as those games, and Doom's skill ceiling is definitely nowhere near close to those games. But before this update, I thought it was still fun, and while it is more accessible, I still think it does respect the better player, which in my eyes is very important to any multiplayer driven game. But with this update, I just don't feel like that anymore. So that's my thoughts on the multiplayer. It's a double-edged sword. I love the free DLC content, and I almost forgot the DLC maps are just as good as the default maps, and I enjoyed a lot of the maps in Doom's multiplayer, but I just don't like how they made it more noob-friendly than ever, if you would say. Now we talk about SnapMap. On one side, I am disappointed with the lack of new content, but every time SnapMap gets new content, something goes wrong. Like Void Runner had a lot of his maps broken or just a lot more awkwardness to it when free update 5 happened. And I'm grateful we're not getting any new content because I don't want to go back and check my old maps and see, if they're working properly, because I'm trying to progress and work on new projects. I really don't want to, take steps backwards. I did like how they tried to at least update the technical issues or try to fix them for SnapMap, but according to Z-Manzilla, the Praetor suit glitch is still in effect, and I can confirm the Cactual Demon's AI is still kind of weird, and the crashing issue seems to be the same too. I don't know how I feel about this update. Like, from my experience, it seems like there's little to no changes to SnapMap other than the slightly new UI. I think I'll say that the SnapMap update was just a placebo. It just felt like nothing really happened, so I personally think this update was mostly for multiplayer, and I'm definitely annoyed because I really want that Praetor suit to be consistent and not crash as much compared to not using the Praetor suit. And I was excited about the fixing the stability issue for SnapMap, but it feels pretty much the same. So overall, I think the SnapMap update was just disappointing, and there's really nothing else I can say other than having no new content, which in my eyes is mostly a good thing, because every time SnapMap gets an update, there's always going to be some nonsense that's going to screw up your old maps. Well, that's my thoughts on the 6.66 update. What are your guys' thoughts on them?